evening. Thank you for joining me, in-app users. We've got some rain that's going to be moving in for many tomorrow, and we'll switch over to snow for a couple around the area. But right here we're looking at the most recent NAM 3km. This shows showers moving in tomorrow around lunchtime. You can see the timestamp up here, right around noon, 9 a.m. Eastern Tennessee, 10, 11, 12 on the Tennessee border. Higher elevation locations, as you can see, this model shows, could switch over to some sleet or snow. Not optimistic about that really occurring around Asheville, but some higher elevations around like Wolf Laurel and Roan Mountain. If you're above 3,500 feet, there is an opportunity for that, even around Cataloochee and the like. So if you do live above 3,500 feet, expect a switch over at some point in time tomorrow evening. As these showers move through, as this moisture moves through, don't think it will amount to too much, but, just a dusting or an inch can cause problems on those windy back roads. So please be careful as you move through the area into Friday. Temperatures, as we run through this event, I'll show you. And we're also going to be watching for some freezing fog tomorrow morning as temperatures dip down into the 20s. Upper 20s, moisture, dew points will, as moisture advects in from the south, dew points will be right there at the temperature, and we could see some freezing fog develop. So please also be careful in isolated locations where that freezing fog will develop. I'll show you as we run through this model. You can see that right there tomorrow morning. 98% relative humidity. That's completely saturated. That column's completely saturated. So you can see that that will cause similar to what we saw this morning, just slight moisture on the roadways, and that could accumulate just a little bit and create just a slickening of the surface as you come to a stop. So please just move around the area carefully if at all possible. Looking ahead, we'll be watching. Let me pull up we'll be watching a system move through the area. I've got it pulled up. This is this is the pivotal weather. This system will move through. This low pressure will move across Tennessee and up into the northeast, creating a pretty wicked snowstorm up in the northeast. Back in snow showers will definitely be possible moving into Sunday morning. This is around 8 a.m. Sunday morning. And you can see as those snow showers move in from the northwest, we'll see that straining out, and the cold air is in place. So, excuse me. So here's what the temperatures show. I've been talking about that Arctic air that we'll be moving through. The GFS shows 16 as a low for Monday morning at the Asheville airport. That's really cold for this time, not for this time of the year. I mean, it's January, so we should expect those. But it will be an Arctic front, and it will be the coldest temperatures of the season, and will be a shock to the system. So be prepared for that. And so mainly we're going to see the moisture out of this particular storm. This model, the GFS, believes around 0.8 inches. I believe an inch to 2 inches will be possible. An isolated 2 inches along the Blue Ridge Escarpment, 1 inch around Asheville. This will be kind of a quick moving system. Can't say whether or not we'll have embedded lightning or not. Could have a little bit of thunders. If there's thunder, there will be lightning. But that front will move through early, late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, and we'll drop rain showers throughout the area before with the wind switch and the temperatures drop and that moisture will stream in from the northwest. So this is likely happening Sunday morning. So what we've been talking about this pattern, you can see this is the low pressure that I was mentioning just a minute ago that will bring the really cold temperatures. You can see it really enhances itself off the East Coast. We'll have what's called a negative NAO that's going to be developing in the next 10 days or so, and that helps turn these storms up the coast, which is a conducive factor for winter storms in the southeast. And then you can see this high pressure builds in, and really cold temperatures will be expected. And that blocking cold air and those lows that move in and really enhance are two key things with these winter storms that we're looking to have develop in. I'm looking in the next 10 to 20 day period is when I think we'll get into a pattern that's conducive, a lot more conducive for winter weather. And I'll explain that in just a second. As this is the NAM most recent NAM run. You can see that low moving as it moves through Tennessee. Just brings rain to western North Carolina on that front end. Backside is where the chance for snow is at, and it's not really into range yet, but will be, and we'll do another update as we approach that northwest flow event into Sunday morning. So here's what I'm talking about. This is where your cold air is coming from, your Arctic oscillation. This shows the various runs of the European model and its facets, and it shows how this model believes that the Arctic oscillation, which is a feature in the atmosphere up in the Arctic, and this is kind of just a chart that tracks it, and if this thing goes negative, that sends cold air across the United States, and a lot of times we get good blocking for winter storms. A lot of the models show this Arctic oscillation in the long range getting into a favorable position for winter storms. You can see the NAO, North Atlantic Oscillation, which I talked about just a minute ago. That's what turns these storms up the East Coast and pushes that cold air a lot of times in before these storms come in. So the NAO, if we can get a negative NAO, which hasn't happened and doesn't really sustain itself very frequently, but a lot of the models do indicate that this is going to happen, that we could see a sustained NAO, and so something to watch here. Okay, so we're looking at this is the PNA, the Pacific North American pattern. So what that is a high pressure that develops over the over the Four Corners region. You can see it develop right here. The PNA is spiked. That allows the jet stream to funnel down and intertwine with the southern jet stream. So the northern southern jet stream can come together. If you'll look at this is another representation. This is the GFS, the GFS ensemble. It also shows the AO going negative. So cold air does look to be inbound for an extended period of time. This goes all the way through the end of January. So doesn't really show much sign of going back positive. So I believe we'll continue to see cold shots through January. If you look at the GFS, it also shows that dip in the NAO in the long range. So we're going to get into a conducive pattern like you've seen and you've read in many places for winter weather. And those cold shots, those really cold shots are going to be coming. We'll warm back up. And a lot of times that is typical of what winter storms. We get pretty warm before they come in, and then that cold air greets us on the backside. So just stay with me, and we'll continue to watch this, and we'll do another update on the potential for some northwest flow snow Sunday. So move over to Facebook. We're going to do a Facebook Live update right now, as well. Thank you for joining me, and move over to Facebook. Thank you.